Hi, I'm Darren.
Hi, I'm Gordon.
And we're the two gay reefers. This week we're showing off new shirts.
New shirts. These will feature at Reefstock in a couple of days' time, which probably time you're watching this. This is actually the Sunday of Reefstock. So
yep, so we'll be at Reefstock when you're watching this, if you're watching it when it first comes out, obviously.
Yeah, of course you will be, because everyone watches our videos on the first day.
And what day is that?
Don't do this. every Sunday, 8:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time.
That's right. Yay!
Yay!
This week we're going to have a chat about our newest tank mate,
Houdini. So when we first got our tank, obviously as all reefers, we wanted a couple of clownfish as our first fish, a couple of Nemos.
Yep.
The first 3 fish we got in our tank was 2 clownfish and a bicolor Lenny. Obviously everyone knows who George is. If you don't, go back and watch some of our earlier videos. He was an icon of our tank for quite a long time. And we also had Itchy and Scratchy, our 2 clownfish.
So when they went in, there was nothing in the tank, no corals, nothing like that. It didn't take long until we actually did get an anemone though.
It was probably our 3rd purchase after the fish.
Pretty much. We decided, why not? Let's get an anemone early on and see how it goes. Maybe not the smartest choice, but we did it anyway.
Yeah. Itchy went into the anemone straight away, or pretty much straight away.
Well, actually, remember we had a few days where they didn't even look at the anemone. So we tried all sorts, like we stuck a photo on the side of the tank with an anemone and a clownfish in it. We just came home a couple of days after that and one was in the anemone and that one was Itchy.
Maybe the picture did work.
Maybe. I don't think it was up that long.
So Itchy found the anemone pretty quickly once he worked out what it is and that it was a good place for him to be. Scratchy, however, never went in there.
No, so Itchy wouldn't let him in the anemone either. So Scratchy found the Duncan. So the Duncan became his substitute anemone, basically.
He loved that Duncan.
He loved the Duncan
so
much.
Too much.
A bit too much. Very much so. And as you can see here, he just dives in and out of the Duncan like nobody's business, basically.
Yeah. They were both very much the same size. Neither of them really grew any bigger. And
I think that's why they got a bit protected, because they just were a bit too similar in size. They were still rather young as well, so they were still developing.
Fast forward probably what?
6 months later.
A big storm hit our house, wiped out our return pump, our skimmer, plus a few other things.
Yeah, so a lightning strike very close to our house just wiped out random pieces of equipment.
We were out having a few drinks one night. We left home probably about 5 o'clock, probably about 4 o'clock actually, mid-afternoon. We got home about midnight and everything was off.
Yeah.
So the tanker had no flow other than the Vortec for probably a good 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
Nothing we could do about it that time of night. Midnight, there's obviously no shops open. Straight down the fish shop the next morning, bought a new return pump, got that back up and running. But unfortunately it was a little bit too late. The tank really suffered.
Yeah, so I think it was more the fact that the fish got really stressed that week. So at that time we didn't have a lid on our tank either, so we had 4 fatalities in 1 week. George, our bicolor, he didn't jump. He didn't jump. We found him on the sand one morning. Yeah. Then we had Scratchy.
He jumped.
He jumped,
yep.
Found him on the ground.
The zebra goby.
Mo,
our little Mo. Yes.
Yeah. Poor little Mo, yeah. He was a nice star of the tank as well.
Yeah.
So it was a bad week for us, unfortunately losing that many fish. And I think it was just stress related with the water conditions. It wasn't that, it was just more the fact that they were stressed out. Someone went a bit too close to them. They got frightened and jumped out of the tank. And yeah, unfortunately, because they were all stressed, it happened all in 1 week.
Yep.
So we haven't had any issues since then, but obviously since then, poor Itchy has been rather lonely.
Very lonely.
Rory, oh so Rory.
the video.
It will indeed.
Yeah, so Itchy was very lonely, which is not good. We tried getting him another clown.
So we did have 3 other tank mates. One of those was a black and white clown.
Yep.
And yeah, they didn't make it through quarantine, unfortunately, which was really, really sad.
Really sucky, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So since then we sort of went, well, you know what? We don't want to get any more fish.
No.
We've got our limit. We probably were overstocked anyway.
Definitely. Yeah.
That brings us to Houdini.
So then Houdini. So I guess Houdini has a bit of a back history.
He does indeed. So
we've known him since the day he was born.
Pretty much.
So he was born in our local fish shop at Galleria Aquatica. Somebody apparently was
on the way to their airport.
On the way flying out, leaving town. Noticed that his clowns had spawned overnight.
So he brought the whole tile full of fish eggs, Nemo eggs, into the Galleria Aquatica.
So here, look after these.
Yep. Here. Do your best, and then left.
Yep. Out of all of them, only Houdini survived. I think a few survived for a little while, but then Houdini was the last remaining one.
So he was raised with Bangai cardinals, so they were getting quite a few Bangai cardinals spawning as well at the same time. So he used to swim with them, and they used to be in a little net enclosure, you know, your standard little breeding net cage. And Houdini got his name because he used to jump out all the time. So
all the time.
He was the one found swimming around all the coral frags.
Yep. And then he got moved across to the seahorse tank.
That's right.
Where we spent probably the last 6 months or so.
Yep. They kept asking us, oh, do you think Itchy would like Houdini? And we were very reluctant, going, oh, do we want another fish? What will happen?
Yeah. More worried about if something happened to Houdini, more so than the fact of getting another fish. We didn't want to have a famous fish per se end up being a fatality in our tank after all the ones we had lost. So,
but after a bit of thought and everything, we thought, well, you know, we can actually give Houdini a great home and continue his unique story and share it with the world, basically, because we're on YouTube.
We do. We picked him up one afternoon at Galleria Aquatica, brought him home. Initially, we put him in just a little breeding box thing, just to make sure he wasn't going to get in any trouble with the bigger fish that were in the tank, because he is only quite small still.
But yeah, he was in there, and like, we could see Itchy. Itchy noticed him, and Itchy would swim up, have a look, and then swim away again, back into his anemone. And like, this kept happening for quite some time, and we noticed that little Houdini kept swimming up towards the top as well, so it was he was curious as well, and we're sort of going, well, the lights are ramping down, so it's getting a bit darker, so, you know, if anything, this is the best time for him to go into the tank. So we just sort of lowered the...
we lowered the quarantine thing down a little bit lower, just so he could swim out if he wanted to, but he didn't have to swim out unless he wanted to, so it made it his choice.
And lo and behold, out he swam.
So it was a little bit of a scuffle to start with, nothing major, but just sort of Itchy wanted to prove his dominance and
so the first
her dominance.
That's it.
Her dominance, yes.
So the first couple of hours, it was a lot of Itchy sort of like would go up and sort of turn him away, and it wasn't any malice in it though. It wasn't like attacking, like sort of shoo him away, and then when he came back, sort of then nose at him, sort of thing. So it was very cute.
It was very, very cute, yeah.
But like, it wasn't like how Itchy ever treated Scratchy. Scratchy would get chased.
Yeah.
Whereas
Houdini wasn't getting chased. It was just he was sort of going, this is mine. Come have a look, but it's mine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Come have a look, but it's mine. Don't get too close, but it's mine. You can look.
And then of course, with Houdini's upbringing, he'd never seen an anemone either. So the second day he got closer to the anemone, but wouldn't actually go in because obviously he hadn't built up any immunity to the enemy, didn't know what an enemy was. But then by the third day, as you can see here, he found out what the enemy was, and we woke up one morning and
he's in the enemy.
In the enemy and imitating Itchy, which was funny.
I'm loving it. Loving every minute of it.
It was quite cute. He's obviously learning quite a bit from Itchy because he's actually diving in and wriggling at the same time Itchy does, which is really cute.
Yeah.
So since then, they've been really good friends in there.
Yeah, really good friends. If anything, Houdini spends more time in the bigger enemy,
and Itchy goes and hangs out in the smaller enemy. I think it's mainly Itchy's just going, you know what, teenagers.
Yeah, I need my space.
I need my space. So he takes himself off for a little bit of me time.
Yeah.
And then rejoins Houdini at a later date, basically.
Yep.
But yeah, haven't seen any other sort of dirty sort of behaviour.
No breeding signs yet. That's probably the better way to put it. Yeah, but they seem to be enjoying each other's company and...
Cue porno music.
Bob chicka wah wah.
So none of that yet, but they've got a real bond happening, so it's nice to see that they're actually getting along.
Yes. So. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really good to have Houdini as part of the tank mates now. So hopefully we can give him a nice happy life with all the rest of the fish.
Yep.
And hopefully we can continue to share his story with you all as well. So hopefully it'll be a nice exciting one for us.
Yep, watch this space. You'll definitely see more of Houdini and Itchy as time goes on.
And their love story.
And their love
story. Anyway everyone, I hope you've enjoyed this episode.
If you did like it, please hit that big like button below. Hit the subscribe button. We definitely are loving everyone who's subscribing at the moment. Our numbers are increasing every day, which is fantastic. The more people you share this with, the more people who get to hear our story and the story of our tank. Yeah, so share. Share to your friends, share to your neighbours, share to your local fish shop. Anyone who you think might be interested, and even if they're not interested, share it anyway.
Anyway everyone, enjoy the update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be excellent to each other and keep it salty.
See you guys.
See ya. Bye.